Hi guys, welcome to yet another video from Careful Optimist. My name is Emeka Okereke. Today's video is a comparison between two premium noise cancelling headphones. On one hand is the SONY WH-1000XM4, which going forward I'll be referring to simply as XM4. And on the other hand is the TECHNICS EAH-A800, which I will simply be referring to as TECHNICS 800. I recently put out an in-depth review of the TECHNICS EAH-A800, which you will find linked somewhere up here. And in the past, I've also compared the SONY XM4 with the Bose & Wilkins PX7. I will leave the link of that video in the description below. These two headphones in question are similar in many ways. Like I said in the previous review, TECHNICS seems to have copied a lot from SONY XM4. I believe they were aiming to cut into the market Sony has been enjoying with the success of XM4s, and that is indeed a smart move. So, in order not to waste your time by making this video longer than it should be, I will not dwell so much on their similarities. I will focus instead on how and where they differ. So, let's get right into it. The XM4 was released to the public in 2020, while the TECHNICS EAH-A800 was just recently released in 2022. So the 2 years time difference gives the TECHNICS EAH-A800 a big advantage. What this means also is that you can find the SONY XM4 at really good discount deals. As at the time of this video, the XM4s can be found on Amazon Germany for €245. The TECHNICS EAH-A800 retails for €345. When it comes to design, they both share the first impression of looking bland and generic like some cheap €25 headphones. The SONY XM4 even more so due to its low profile design. Yet both of these headphones come off as utilitarian devices. That is to say, their design focuses on functionality. And in this case, we are talking about portability, comfort, and lightness. And they are also durable to some extent. I like the design of the SONY XM4 better. If any headphones could seamlessly blend and disappear into whatever outfit you wear, it will be the SONY XM4. It has a much better profile on the head than the TECHNICS EAH-A800. The ear cups are smaller too. Now when it comes to comfort, both of these headphones are quite comfortable, but I find the SONY XM4 to be more comfortable when worn for longer hours. There are two reasons for this. The SONY XM4 at 245 grams is lighter than the TECHNICS EAH-A800, which weighs 295 grams. Although the difference in weight is negligible, it does feel noticeable when these headphones are worn. Secondly, while the ear cups of the TECHNICS EAH-A800 get hot and sticky, say after 2 hours of wearing it, the SONY XM4s do not. So if you are concerned about comfort over long hours of wearing your headphones, I suggest you go for the SONY XM4s. Now when it comes to looks and feel, I prefer how the SONY feels to the touch. It has more smooth contours and a unified surface from the ear cups to the headband. The TECHNICS EAH-A800, on the other hand, comes off bulky and rough-edged, especially with regards to the ear cups. I personally do not find the break in design from the headband to the ear cups appealing. Now, are these headphones durable? Well, in order to keep them lightweight, there's a trade-off. Much of them are made of plastic. This also means that they could easily break. That said, if it's any consolation, they are quite flexible. But in my opinion, I wouldn't be rough on them. And by the way, I've noticed already that on detaching and replacing the ear cups of the EAH-A800, that something has broken off already. A plastic that is supposed to be the hook for the ear foam to the ear cups, has broken out already. And I have not even used these headphones up to a month already. Because these things are made of plastic, they will break. So be careful with them, okay? Treat them with care and attention so that you'll be able to gift it to someone when you're done using them. Now, speaking of gifting them to someone else, I know you wouldn't want to gift your used not so odorless ear cups to someone else. You wouldn't do that, right? If you own the Technics EAH-A800, that's easy because the ear cups are detachable and replaceable. However, with the Sony XM4s, you are out of luck. Now, when it comes to portability and use, these headphones are quite easy to lug around. First off, they come in a hard shell carrying case. That of the Sony XM4 is wrapped in cloth, while that of the Technics EAH-A800 is covered in what I believe to be synthetic leather. They are roughly the same size, so they take up the same space in your backpack, for instance. When it comes to design, I prefer that of the Technics EAH-A800. That said, both will equally protect your headphones quite well. Because of how the headphones are designed, I find that the Sony XM4s are easier to hang around your neck. It doesn't look as ridiculous and bulky as the Technics EAH-A800. Also, because the Sony is lighter, you almost forget you have it on. In fact, the Sony XM4s check all the boxes when it comes to portability. Alright, let's discuss features. The Sony XM4s have been called the king of noise cancellation, and rightfully so. I am confident to say that the noise cancellation of the XM4s are second to none. Besides the fact that it is really good, it comes with some bells and whistles like the adaptive noise cancellation, which works really well. Just put it on and let it do its thing. I mean, it's not always spot on and can sometimes be erratic, but for the most part, it works. That said, there's a caveat to this assertion that Sony XM4 is the king of noise cancellation. Now, let's not forget that noise cancellation has two parts to it. There's the actual blocking out of ambient sound, and then there's the transparency mode. While Sony is good with noise cancellation, its transparency mode is horrible. As for the Technics EAH-A800, the noise cancellation is surprisingly good. It's not as good as the Sony XM4, but I tell you, the difference is only apparent if you are listening to the two headphones side by side each other. Since most people will only own one or the other, I think that you will find that you can't go wrong with ANC using any of these headphones. However, the transparency mode of the Technics EAH-A800 seems to be better than those of the Sony XM4s. Yet, none of these headphones can compete with the AirPods Max when it comes to transparency mode, and that is why AirPods Max is my daily driver, amongst other things. Now, both of these headphones comes with mobile apps for advanced operations. These apps exist both as Android and iOS version. I find that the Technics Audio Connect app is much more robust and well thought through than the Sony Headphones Connect app. Yet, they are both indispensable for getting the best out of their corresponding headphones. With the app, you can customize the noise cancellation settings, the operations buttons, and the touch sensors of the headphones, as well as the sound. You can also do firmware updates with these apps. As for operations, both headphones are similar in that they use a combination of buttons and touch sensors for their operations. For the Sony XM4s, much of the audio operations is done on the surface of the right ear cup. This includes volume control, audio skipping, as well as phone calls. The ANC is toggled with a button on the left ear cup. The Technics EAH-A800 takes a slightly different route. All ANC operations are done on the surface of the right ear cup, while the volume controls, audio skipping, and phone calls are done with buttons on the left ear cup. Now, let's discuss sound. When it comes to sound, I'll go straight to the point and give it to the Technics EAH-A800. Technics as a company are not new to pristine audio tuning. They've been at it for about 55 years now. So what you get is a well-timed and balanced audio across frequencies. Because of the separation between the low bass and the mid bass, what you get is this feeling that the sound is detailed and rich. At first, I thought that the sound signature of the EAH-A800s is bass heavy. But after listening to it side by side the Sony XM4s, I had a change of heart. And the sound signature of the Sony XM4 is bass heavy, to a fault. The low bass is so present, it makes everything you listen to with these headphones sound like it is trapped in a drum. For the most part, this is the only serious problem of the scans. The low bass does not give the mid bass a breathing space whatsoever. Now, that said, the timing and balance of the SONY SM4 is not so bad, especially if you activate the DSEE Extreme feature found in the app. What is DSEE, you might ask? Well, Sony claims it is a feature which uses artificial intelligence to upscale compressed digital musical files in real time, and it dynamically recognizes instrumentation, musical genres, and individual elements of each song, such as vocals or interludes, and restores the high-range sound lost in compression. This translates to richer, more complete listening experience, and I tell you, it works really well. Yet, the overpowering bass is just a killjoy. Now, I've mentioned that the mobile apps are for customization of sound as well. For some reason, I find that the audio customization through the Sony app is just awful. Meanwhile, with the Technics mobile app, it improves on the sound greatly. So let me say this once again. When it comes to sound, I'm confident to say that the Technics EAH-A800 is better than the Sony SM4. But hey, the Sony SM4 is due for an upgrade. So let's see what comes with the XM5, which hopefully will get to us by the end of this year. So if you are not in a hurry, you might as well just wait for that one. Now, both these headphones support the same codecs, such as ASC, SBC, but then the high-resolution codec known as LDAC. Now, those with Android devices will appreciate this feature. The Sony SM4 features Bluetooth 5.0, but the Technics EAH-A800 takes the lead with Bluetooth 5.2. The Bluetooth connectivity of both headphones are quite stable despite the difference. Both headphones can connect to two devices at once. In this mode, you cannot use the LDAC resolution, by the way, so have that in mind. Now, when it comes to battery life, the star of the show here is the Technics EAH-A800, which features 50 hours of battery life with ANC turned on. This is 20 hours more battery life than the Sony SM4. So, if you go on long trips, then the Technics EAH-A800 is no brainer for you. That's the headphones you need to have. Both headphones, by the way, are charged via a USB port, so you are covered. Now, when it comes to phone calls, I did not pay any particular attention to the phone calls as I hardly use my headphones for phone calls. What I can say though is that for the times that I've used these headphones for phone calls and voice notes, there was hardly anything to complain about. So I guess this is a good thing. In conclusion, which of these headphones are worth the money? Now, thing is, the Technics EAH-A800 are great headphones, but it was released in the beginning of 2022 and in a price range that is already more expensive than its competitors, given that many of them are now discounted. Also, it sits right in the midst of many headphones that will soon be upgraded and sold for almost the same price as the current retail price of the Technics EAH-A800. What I can say, however, is that in terms of functionality and sound, the Technics EAH-A800 is better than the Sony SM4. That said, the Sony SM4 is cheaper and a better buy considering how similar and closely related both headphones are. So there you have it. If you found this video useful, consider liking it, and also let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's make this a conversation. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, subscribing will be the best way to go, and don't forget to press that notification bell. Also, you can follow us on social media, that is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Medium. I think we even have TikTok now. Now, would you like to support us even further? Consider joining our YouTube membership program. Now, to have access to a broad range of projects under the Careful Optimist platform, join our Patreon page. All right, on that note, I wish you a wonderful day or night, depending on your time zone, and see you in the next video, which will be pretty soon. Bye-bye.